If you need prayer or have questions, email Annamarie at 5minutesadayWithGod@gmail.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to our videos so that more people can hear the Word of God.
Good morning and welcome to Friday. So today's story is again covers a whole chapter. So today we're in Genesis 14. So I encourage you to read it on your own. It's a great, it's an adventure. So it'll be a good read. And so here's what happens. Abram rescues Lot. And he does this a couple times, but this is the first time that that we see here. So Lot and his family, they're living in Sodom. And what we need to know is they're under the reign of King Chedorlaomer. And so there's 4 other kings in this federation who rebel against him. So they want to be free of his reign over them, and so they band together and they plunder every village and wipe out the population or lead them into captivity. And so because Lot was living in Sodom, he got taken away into captivity. So now this involves Abram. So it's really interesting. It shows Abram's character, right? I mean, it shows his honor because he gets to say, oh, well, my nephew got taken away and he went into that city that he probably shouldn't have, right? But because he is the guardian of his family, he's the head of his family, so he's going to fight for his nephew's life and safety. So that's the first thing that we see here is we see that Abram is a man of honor. He is a man, he's a protector. He is the guardian of his family. He is compassionate and he's brave, right? Because that's something that I wouldn't have think of to go in these 4 kings that went and plundered this area. And now here's a rescue mission that Abram is about to start here. So the next thing I want us to see is he assembled and armed 318 of his servants. So this shows that Abram's had great wealth, that he had so much wealth that he had that many servants. And it also shows that he walked in faith, but he also walked in wisdom because he knew that his wealth made him a target. So he was ready to defend his interests. Do you see that here? So it's one thing to say, I trust God to provide for me, and he did, but he was also wise. He was also wise in taking care of what God has given him. And so he had armed, trained servants that were ready to fight in case someone came and tried to take them over. And so the next thing we see is he divided his forces and attacked at night. So he also had military wisdom. I don't know where that came from, if God just gave him wisdom. And he was able to rescue Lot and all of Lot's goods that had been taken. So he goes in and he rescues not only Lot and his family, but all the goods that were also taken. And so what is interesting though here is Lot gets rescued, but then he goes back into Sodom. He goes back into where he was living before. And I want us to think about that for a moment, that have we fell into that same pattern? Did we go into that same pattern of God rescues us and then we go right back into our own way of thinking and our ways of sin? And so there is a lot here in this passage. Just wisdom, just to think about everything God has given you. Do you take care of it? Do you show wisdom in taking care of all the resources that God has given you? And then also, when God rescues you from something, are we careful to make changes and to move forward, or do we go back into our own way of pattern and our own sin and our own way of thinking? So this speaks a lot to me today as well. So have a good day, and we'll see you next week. And remember, 5 minutes in the Word can change your life.